Good morning everyone, welcome to our group presentation. So today we're gonna present about chapter 4, Ethics in the Marketplace. But before that, let me introduce to you our group members. The first member is Zafira Jagadita with her last 3 digit of NPM is 021. And the next member is Ravanita Laida with her last 3 digit of NPM is 065. And me, Sylvia Agustina, with my last 3 digit of NPM is 172. So these are the topics that we will discuss today. The first one is applying ethics to market competition. The second one is perfect competition. The third one monopoly competition. The fourth one oligopolistic competition. And the fifth one is study case. And the last one is summary. So let's just get started to the first topic, applying ethics to market competition. There are 3 economic models. The first one is perfect competition. Perfect competition tends to maximize utility, establish justice, and respect moral rights. It achieves these outcomes by promoting fair market participation, preventing monopolistic behavior, and ensuring consumers have choices. Departures from perfect competition often lead to diminished utility, injustice, and violation of moral rights. And the second one, there is oligopoly. Oligopoly occurs when a few large firms dominate the market, leading to limited competition. Firms have some control over prices, but they also consider the action of other firms, leading to reduced competition and potential ethical concerns such as collusion and price fixing. Oligopolistic behavior can harm consumer welfare and undermine fairness in the market. The third one, pure monopoly. Pure monopoly refers to a single firm controlling the market. Pure monopoly can lead to significant ethical challenges. It may result in price manipulation, reduced consumer choices, and unfair exploitation of market power, which can undermine both utility and justice. The next topic is perfect competition. A perfectly competitive free market is characterized by numerous buyers and sellers, all with equal power, freely entering and leaving the market, and possessing perfect knowledge of market conditions. The goods traded are identical, and cost and benefit are borne solely by those involved in the transaction. Participants aim to maximize their utility, and there's no external regulation on price, quantity, or quality. This market also requires an enforceable private property system, contracts, and a production system. These features ensure a level playing field where exchanges are voluntary and efficient.
Perfectly competitive free markets are perfectly ethical in 3 important respects, which are: the first one is capitalist justice. In a perfectly competitive market, capitalist justice is achieved at the equilibrium point where price align with both the buyer's demand curve and the seller's supply curve. At this point, buyers pay a fair price based on their perceived value, and sellers receive a fair return based on their production cost. Any deviation from this equilibrium result in unjust outcomes where one party receives less or more than they contribute. The next one is utility. In perfectly competitive markets, price efficiently allocate resources based on demand, while firms strive to use resources effectively for low cost and high profits. Consumer can purchase the most satisfying goods, maximizing utility across the economy. And the last one is right. In perfectly competitive market, both buyers and sellers enjoy negative rights. Participants have the freedom to enter or exit the market at will, ensuring the right to pursue business opportunities. Exchanges are entirely voluntary, with individuals engaging only in transactions they consent to, fostering freedom of choice. Perfectly competitive markets embody rights such as freedom of opportunity, consent, and freedom from coercion, promoting a fair and balanced economic environment. Monopoly competition. In a monopoly market, one dominant seller controls the majority of the product, setting both price and quantity, extracting the monopoly profits by limiting supply and setting price high. Unregulated monopoly markets often fail to uphold moral values such as capitalist justice, utilitarian efficiency, and respect for negative rights, which are typically achieved in perfectly competitive free markets. Monopolies can charge unjustly high price, leading to excess profits, and they can create shortage of goods while diverting resources inefficiently. Monopolies can wield power of consumers, limiting their choice and dictating market terms. Ethical weaknesses of monopolies. The first one is they violate capitalist justice by charging more for products than producer knows they are worth. The next one is they violate utilitarianism by keeping resources out of monopoly market where shortage so more are needed and diverting them to market without such shortage and by removing incentives to use resources efficiently. And the last one, they violate negative rights by forcing other companies to stay out of the market by letting monopolies force buyers to purchase goods they do not want, and by letting monopolies make price and quantity decisions that consumers are forced to accept. The next one is oligopolistic competition. In oligopoly markets, where a small number of firms dominate, consumers often face higher price and limited choice similar to monopolies. Oligopolies can coordinate pricing and output levels, behaving as a single entity leading to unfair price and reduced social welfare. Research shows highly concentrated oligopolies extract higher profits from consumers, resulting in a decline in consumer utility. Competitive markets driven by innovation and cost-cutting benefit consumer and society. In oligopoly and monopoly settings, firms may resort to anti-competitive tactics like pricing fixing agreements to undermine competition, violate consumer rights, and diminish utility. This practice harm consumer and stifle fair competition. And the next one is anti-competitive strategies, an ethical practice in oligopoly markets dividing into 10 categories. The first one is price fixing. Managers of oligopoly firms collude to set price artificially high, replicating the effects of a monopoly. And the next one is manipulation of supply. Firms limit the quantity of goods supply to create shortage, driving price above equilibrium levels. And the next one is market allocation. Companies divide the market among themselves, granting each a monopoly in their allocated section, restricting competition. And the next one is bid rigging. Oligopoly firms agree in advance on bids, eliminating competition and allowing unfair overcharging. And the next one is exclusive dealing arrangements. Firms sell to retailers on the condition that they don't purchase from competitors, reducing competition.
The next is tying arrangements. Is a sellers require buyers to repurchase one product only if they also buy another, effectively eliminating competition. Next, retail price maintenance agreements. Manufacturers dictate the retail price of their products, potentially reducing competition among retailers. Next, predatory price discrimination. Charging different prices to different buyers, particularly to eliminate competitors, is considered predatory. Next, bribery. Bribing government officials to secure sales, shutting out competitors and distorting the competitive landscape. And then the last is tacit agreements, refers to informal cooperation among oligopoly firms to set prices or follow price leadership, reducing competition and harming consumer interests. Next is study case. The airline industry in the United States has undergone significant consolidation since deregulation in 1978. Deregulation allowed for more new airlines to enter the market, making airfare prices more competitive. However, recent decades, competition has decreased due to a series of mergers, resulting in the formation of oligopolies among a few major carriers. As a result, airfare prices have increased, and airlines have started imposing additional fees on passengers for various services. To address this issue, it is important to increase regulation to limit further consolidation and promote healthy competition among airlines. The government could consider policies to encourage new airlines to enter the market, providing consumers with more choices and creating greater competitive pressure to keep prices reasonable. In a conclusion, the analysis of perfect competition, oligopoly, and pure monopoly in the marketplace reveals the critical role of ethical consideration in shaping market dynamics and outcomes. Perfect competition fosters fairness, utility maximization, and respect for rights through voluntary exchange and efficient resource allocation. In contrast, oligopolies and monopolies raise concern about limited competition, potential collusion, price manipulation, and reduced consumer welfare, highlighting the importance of regulatory measures to uphold ethical standards and promote a level playing field for all market participants.
So now we reach the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention and have a good day everyone.